Hello, my friends. It is Becky Davidson with the founder of Win with Becky Sales Training. And I wanted to share a quick video on the 8 steps to navigate the sales process and take people from cold to sold no matter what you sell. So oftentimes I have people, oh, have you ever sold this industry? Do you have experience in that industry? Do you have experience here? Do you have experience there? And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I've spent a lot of time in marketing. I've spent time in industrial sales. I sold $250,000 software systems to insurance companies. I've worked in a variety of different industries, and guess what? My sales works in all of them because communication style remains the same. People buy the same ways. We still have to do many times the same things. And the 8 steps, we have to do all 8 of those no matter who you're selling to. And I worked with a wealth advisor. It was the first time I'd ever worked with a wealth advisor. I don't know a lot about his industry, but I know how to convert what he says, the message he wants to get across, to make sure that he's touching on all 8 steps. I learned a lot about wealth advising, and guess what? He crushed it using my system. I don't know a ton about real estate, but I've had great success with realtors. I did not know about roofs, but I've had great success with roofers. I've worked with leadership experts, people that built teams, recruiting. I've worked in so many industries, and these 8 steps have to happen no matter what you're selling. And now, what we do in each of those 8 steps may be slightly different because if you're attracting an executive versus an individual, we're going to show up on different platforms. But social selling, communicating, talking in the DMs, booking appointments, those all are the same types of things. And we might adjust them a little bit for your industry, but I want to go through these 8 steps to navigate the cold to sold sales process, no matter what you're selling. So let's talk it through. I'm going to enlarge that a little bit. So the first thing that you have to do if you want to take someone from cold to sold, if you want to start closing sales, is you have to build awareness. You have to, people if people don't know you exist, guess what? They're never going to buy from you. And so how are you building awareness? What are the strategies you're using to build awareness? Lead generation, prospecting, connecting, communicating, networking, showing up. I have over 50 different ways to teach people how to build awareness, how to prospect, how to create lead generation, how to strike up conversations with people, and or just for them to know that you exist. Because until they know you exist, guess what? Nothing else is going to happen. So we have to be really good at building our awareness. And not only do we want to build our awareness, we want to build our authority inside of our awareness. So that's one of the things I really take a look at. What are you doing? How are you growing that awareness? And how are you building in authority inside awareness? How are you setting yourself apart? If you sound like everyone else or you're not really speaking to the message that speaks to them, then you're not going to get any traction. So once you have awareness, the second thing we have to do is we have to create interest. We have to hit a topic or a message or something that says, aha, I like what they have to say. They have something that can help me. I need that. And so many times people talk about what they do, and people don't buy what you do. They buy the result they get from what you do. So, how are you communicating? And we don't, sometimes we find people that already have interest. Sometimes we have to create interest, and sometimes we have to pique interest. When I sold advertising and marketing, oftentimes I had to create interest. Sales training, sometimes I have to create interest. People aren't sitting around going, boy, I'd really like a sales trainer. I'd really like a sales trainer. No, they're going, hey, I want more customers. I want more visibility. I want to be able to convert the conversations that I'm having. So I talk about the pain point, and that's what we have to do. Know how what we're putting out there on social media, what we're saying in the DMs, and what we say on a call all blend together and work together to create interest, pique interest, or uncover interest. Once you have interest, you have to know how to convert interest to opportunity, which that means you have to be good at booking. I call it book the look or being a master booker. So sometimes that look might be watching a video, might be coming to a webinar, it might be doing a one-to-one with you. But at some point, they have to say, I like that. That might be of use to me. I need to take a deeper look. And what does that deeper look entail? Is it a video? Is it a webinar? Is it a one-to-one? Is it, sitting down with them in person? Is it on a Zoom? So we have to know what that next step looks like and how to convert from interest to opportunity. Once we have be booked, now we have the opportunity to communicate, to have the convictions. We have to build conviction and certainty inside that client. So in the conviction phase, we're communicating. We have an appointment. We are talking to that person. We're sitting down. We're sharing information. We're uncovering wants and needs. We're partnering with them, sitting on their side of the table to help figure out what the best solution. We're intercepting objections. We're building buying desire, and we're creating the sales decision making conversation. And what we do inside of that conversation also sets us apart. How you lead conversations, how you lead them to a decision is what I teach inside my program, Getting to Yes, the roadmap to the close, all of these things. Oh, how to build awareness, how to create interest, how to convert interest to opportunity. And once you sit down with them, how do you create conviction and certainty so they're like, wow, I really like this. This makes sense. And then we also have to build buying desire. So a lot of people sell facts, and facts are logical, and that's all great. But people oftentimes buy on emotion. So you want to build facts and emotion simultaneously and build buying desire. Once you're going through all of those really, really well, many times the decision making process happens almost automatically if you know how to lead conversations to a decision. That's what most people don't know how to do. They know how to talk and share and talk and share and talk and share, but do you know how to lead people to a decision? And that's what I teach people to do, how to end in one of three outcomes, and and then know what to do with each of those one of three outcomes to create the next steps. What is the next steps? If in each of those three outcomes, we have to know if it's a no or a not now, what do we need to do with that? How do we uncover that? How do we maybe rectify that? For example, I had a client, and I said, if you'll follow my system, I promise you'll get to the end and people will start closing you. And that's exactly what happened. She was selling $1,015 services, and she started closing on the spot. She went 6 weeks, held 10 appointments, and closed every single one of them. She did have one person that said, no, not now, give me 3 months. And guess what? We talked about it. I said, hey, I've got an idea, would you be open to another conversation? And she did, and we ended up closing that person the same week. She said, no, not now, give me 3 months. So do you know how to take a no into a next step, or a next step into let's have another conversation? We have to know what we're going to do on every stage of the sales process. And then, of course, we come to the finalization of, hey, either we're going to work together and let's move in this direction and take that next step, or, what are we going to do going forward? So I just wanted to share this. This is super important for you to know all eight of these and how to navigate all eight of these. And I really don't care what you sell. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different industries. I've done a lot with coaches. I do a lot with LinkedIn. I help people on all the social media platforms, but we're going to work through each of those phases, because if you're not building awareness, then you're just talking to the same people over and over again. If you're not creating interest, you have a lot of people watching you, but they really don't care. And if you're not booking appointments, well, then you'll never get to the close. And so we have to do every single one of these. And if you're not doing it, then you're not closing sales. And that's the goal is to help you start closing 1 to 5 sales a week, every week on repeat. And if you're not doing that, book your free sales strategy session with me. Let's talk it through and let's see how I can help you, because that's my goal and mission, is to help you have a system and create consistency so you have new business coming in the door every single week on repeat. All right, guys, Becky Davidson, Win with Becky Sales Training. I'm here for you and look forward to meeting and talking to you. Have a great day.